Okay, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be interviewing Kylee. She's a wedding photographer from Utah. I'm going to be asking her some questions and then we're both going to answer questions you guys left us. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, you can see my phone in that. Okay, hi guys, I'm here with Kylee. She's a wedding photographer from Utah. She's going to be answering some questions. And then at the end, we're both going to answer questions from you guys.
Hi.
I guess I'll start with the questions I had for you.
Nervous.
First off, I love your work, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
So kind of just like introduce yourself and share like how you got started in photography.
Okay, so hi, I'm Kylee. I started photography back in, I think it was 2022, like towards the end of the year. I only started it because I needed an elective in college, and then I fell in love with it, and then I dropped out of college, and then I was like, I'm gonna make this my career because I just love it so much, and so I did.
Oh my gosh, so you like dropped out when it started going?
Yep.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was so nervous to drop out, but my husband was like, no girl, like, you got it. I was like,
what kind of like inspired you to, well, I guess you said your college class, but what inspired you to become a photographer and what keeps you passionate about it?
well, when I got proposed to, I was taking like the college class, but I wasn't like too serious about it yet. And then when I saw her passion for it and like how much she loved doing it, and when I got the pictures back and the feeling I got looking back on the photos, I was like, I want to be able to do that for people. Because that's just so special. So I was like, I would love to do that. So every time like when I was questioning whether or not like this was meant for me, I just remembered like the feeling I got when I was getting my photos back. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute. I really want to know this one. What's the wedding photography scene like in Utah? Do you feel like it has a unique style?
Yes, I feel like there are so many photographers out here. There's so many of us, but everyone's out here getting married all the time because everyone's Mormon. It's nice because when we first moved here, I was super nervous that like I would have to start completely over, but like I said, there's so many people out here that are getting married. And a lot of people that just want like couple photos because they're young and in love. I was there too. But, so yeah, I was so nervous because there's so many photographers out here, but it wasn't that bad.
So you just moved there, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Was that hard?
Yeah, it was. So it's kind of weird because half of my clients were from Salt Lake in the beginning when I lived in Vegas. And so me and my husband were out here all the time anyways. And so he got a job out here. And then I was like, okay, well, we might as well because we're out here all the time anyways. So it was a smoother transition because I already had some clients out here, but it wasn't too bad.
How did you build your brand and kind of like establish yourself?
It took me a while because I feel like at first I didn't fully know like how I wanted to edit, how I wanted like my brand to be. It took me a while to figure it out. But at the beginning, I was editing completely different than I do now. My work looks nothing like the same.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is so different. And so it took me a long time to figure out what like I really wanted. And I actually just switched up my editing like I think it was back in October. But then I figured out like kind of what I wanted my brand to be, and like I'm like super girly, so I was like I want it to be all the bows and
I love that.
Everything else. And so I ended up working with, I think it's the same person who did your branding, Wildflower.
Yeah, she did mine when I first started.
She did mine too. And so she was a ton of help because at first I was like, I just want it to look like me and like not like everyone else's branding. And so she was super helpful.
I had this question written down, but you kind of talked about it a little bit. How long did it take you to find your editing style?
Like a year and a half. I was in love with my editing style when I first started, but looking back at it, I'm like, oh my God, nobody look at those photos.
So how many times did you like switch your style? Like, did you ever do dark? Because I know you're like really light.
I did. I was super warm when I first started. And then
Wow.
I started to fall in love, like, with a lot of photographers. Like, I started to find myself falling in love with their work. It was, like, super light and airy.
Mhm.
And I was like, I want to edit like that. But then, I was trying to, like, do it myself. And I was like, okay, it keeps going back to the warm stuff. So then I finally found, I use Beba vowels for my editing. And that is what, like, saved me. I was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for this whole time.
Do you think you're going to switch it again, or are you going to stay?
I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with it because I love it so much and it's just like super classy, but
You definitely have like a unique style. Like I definitely can tell like what's yours.
I feel like sometimes I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I wonder if it looks like everybody else's, but that makes me feel better.
No, it's literally so good. I love it. Do you work full time as a photographer?
Yeah, I do. I went full time back in October. So it's been a couple months, but I love it. It's so nice.
What did you do before that?
I worked at Dutch Bros.
Oh, I love
Which
that.
is in my
hand. I love that.
I was so addicted, and then my family was like, girl, go get those free drinks. And I was like, I am.
That's so smart, though. That's so
yeah,
fun.
and they were so flexible with my schedule because I needed a lot of time off to travel. And so I only worked there like 2 days a week, but it was nice.
How would you describe your shooting style? So, like, are you more, like, posed or candid?
I would say I'm like a mix of both.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do a little bit posed, but then I feel like I drag myself more to the more cinematic style. I think it depends on my couple, too, because I have a lot of couples that love the posed style, and then I have some that are, like, only, like, cinematic style, like, no posing. So I think when I ask my clients, they normally, oh, I lost you. Normally they're really good at telling me what they're looking for. I do love the non-posed. It's so much fun to be able to like look back on them and be like, oh my gosh, it turned out so cute. But yeah, I think I do both. Okay,
this is one I want to know too. Do you send a wedding guide or any like type of prep materials?
I do. I have one. It comes, so I have like a client guide when it comes with all my pricing, and then it has like a ton of questions and answers and stuff, and like how, if you book with me, what it looks like going from here on out.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it's super nice. It actually helps a lot with like answering questions, because a lot of times clients, when I send it out, the first one I had was just pricing and they would like have a ton of questions. So now I made one where it's like all in one. So they're not like super confused and it's not a lot of back and forth.
What's your favorite moment to capture at a wedding?
Oh my gosh. Definitely if they're doing a first look. Yeah. But if they're not, the groom's reaction coming down the aisle, because it's always like the sweetest thing ever.
I know.
They always cry.
I swear I almost cry every single
me too.
father-daughter dance.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I cry all day during weddings. Yeah. My husband second shoots for me sometimes and he's like, girl, like, pull yourself together. I was like,
no, literally, I'm over there like shedding tears. What's been the biggest challenge in your photography career so far?
That's a good question. I would say trying to find out, like what we talked about earlier, like what makes my brand and like my business me. Like I said, it took me a long time to figure that out. I was really struggling, and now I feel like so much at peace now that I know, and I like feel like I have it figured out. But yeah, for a while that was my biggest struggle. Every time I like would go to edit a gallery, I would look at my husband and I'm like, it's just not like what I'm looking for. And then I finally found how to do it and like how to get it to where I wanted it to be, and then I got that feeling of like being proud of myself. So
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like when you don't know like what your style is, or like you're just like, you go back and forth and you look at all these other people's work and you're just like stressing over it.
Imposter
It's
syndrome
awful.
is the worst.
It's so bad. I swear sometimes I'll still catch myself doing it. I'm like, no, I want to be like Nary. And like it's so the opposite of what I do.
I do the same thing.
Okay, this is a really good one. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice when you first started, what would it be?
I'm trying to think. Probably to like focus on myself a little bit more. I feel like when I started, I was so hyper focused on what everyone else was doing and how well everyone else was like doing at their business. And I felt like when I first started, I was so hyper fixated on like trying to be like everyone else, I guess, rather than like making it my own. And I also would say that like I did not know how nice the photography community was. I thought it was way more competitive than it is. So I never really asked for help because I didn't think that the help was there. But now I know, and I wish I did ask for help more.
Oh, I love that. This one's about your gear because I know so many people are going to be asking about your gear.
Okay.
What camera and lens do you typically use for weddings?
I shoot on a Nikon Z6 II. It always shocks people that I'm not on Canon, but I tried Canon, and since I started on Nikon, I was like, this is too confusing, I can't. But then,
really?
Yes, I tried so hard to shoot with Canon just because everyone I've talked to shoots with Canon, but I don't know why. I think it's just because I started with Nikon that like, that is what it is, but yeah. I wish I could shoot on Canon. I love Canon, but...
That to me, Canon is so simple, and when I've tried others, it's been way too confusing.
Yeah, see, it's so weird because I feel like it's whatever you like, your first camera is, it's like what you're stuck with.
Yeah, no, literally. Shoot film or only digital? I
shoot film. I actually just started adding 35 film to my packages. And I'm so excited because they're so cute.
I've actually wanted to start doing film, but that's also something that I'm like, that's way too complicated.
Yeah, it is. It's so hard to figure out. And I'm still like, I don't fully like understand all of it yet, but I'm getting there. YouTube's been my best friend.
You said your husband second shoots for you, but do you use a second shooter or do you prefer shooting solo?
My husband usually second shoots for me. I taught him how to use my second body, just because he loves tagging along and he's like such a great helper and we work so good together. Cute. Yeah, it's so nice. And, and I'm like, he's so weird. He does it for free. He doesn't let anyone pay him. So he likes literally just being there to be there. And, I actually haven't worked with another second shooter that isn't my husband.
That's crazy. I love that.
I have a whole list of second shooters that I do want to use this year, but for some reason, a lot of my couples this year just aren't interested in getting a second shooter.
That's weird.
I know. I was like, I'll take all the second shooters when I got married.
Yeah. That though, y'all are literally goals. Okay, this is getting good right here. Where do you see your business in the next 5 years? Do you have any big goals or dream projects?
So one of my goals is to do a lot more international weddings. I've gotten quite a few this year, so I'm super excited. And I'm hoping to see more of them next year or the years after. But I'm hoping I'm like in the next few years, like still consistently booked and like I'm booking way more like out of country stuff. A lot of my weddings are actually not in Utah. They're all like out of state. But I want to like travel way more. And so I'm hoping way more international ones coming up.
Do you see yourself doing photography for the rest of your life?
I do. I actually get this question all the time. And I do. I don't see myself doing anything else. Like I love creating my own schedule. I love I love partying at weddings. Like it's so much fun. Like that's crazy. And I truly don't see myself ever doing like anything else.
That's so awesome. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy because like a year and a half ago, I was so set on like being in college and like, cause I was going to school for medical sonography, so like ultrasounds, and I was so set on that's what I was going to do. But now I'm like, Kylie, why would you even think that? Look at yourself now. Okay.
So you said you want to do like more out of state weddings out of the country. What's your dream wedding location to shoot at?
Oh my gosh. Italy for sure.
Definitely.
And I've gotten a lot of Greece inquiries this year, so I'm hoping some of them book because that would be so crazy.
That
But
would.
those two are my top two for sure.
That's insane. If you
I
do a
know.
wedding in Greece, that's literally insane.
You can come with me.
I'd love to. That's awesome. Okay, this is a good one. If you weren't a wedding photographer, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh my gosh. So I would probably be like a labor and delivery nurse. My mom does that. And so when I was little, I wanted to do that because I just love babies. They're just so cute. But then I went to work with her one day and I saw what she does and I was like, I'm not doing that. I can't. So I was like, I'll do ultrasounds. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't see the gross stuff. So I would probably
Yeah.
be doing labor and delivery or ultrasounds.
So no part of you ever like kind of wishes you were doing that?
No, it's so weird because I feel like there would be a part of me that's like, oh, I wish I was a nurse, but I literally love what I do so much. I don't think I would change any of it.
Photography is such a fun job to have, but like the consistency is what
Yeah.
makes it so risky. Do you ever get worried about that?
I do. Sometimes I'm like, especially during like slow seasons, I catch myself
Yeah.
like questioning a lot and I'm like, well, is this really what I need to be doing? But then I remind myself like, Kylie, it's literally like 5 degrees outside, like calm down.
Yeah.
Nobody wants photo shoots in the snow when it's freezing outside. So sometimes I catch myself here and there, but then I remind myself when busy season picks back up that sometimes there's inconsistent times and that's okay, but
I literally just went through that. It was like, this was my first full year of photography and everyone talked about slow season and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, they're being dramatic, whatever. No, like it really is slow season. Like you
Yeah,
have
it
no
is.
shoots. And I even got worried. I was like, oh my gosh, like I went from being so booked to like not having any shoot.
Yeah.
And now it's picking back up and I'm like, okay, we're fine.
Yeah, I know, it's scary because when I first
It
went through it
is.
too, I was like, oh my god, everyone hates me, nobody likes my photos.
When you first started doing weddings last year, were you nervous?
I was so nervous because that's like one day you can't get back.
Yeah.
So like if something goes wrong, like it goes wrong. And like with all this like drama stuff on TikTok with all these brides getting mad, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so scared.
Dude, I swear, if I get a freaking like chain made about me with my
No, for
pictures,
real.
I'm gonna lose it. Like
No,
I
seriously,
watch
I'm
those and get so
scared.
angry.
Oh, I do too.
And the other photographers that like back the brides doing that, like
I
what are
know.
we doing?
What are we doing? Every time I see photographers like bashing the other photographer, I'm like, I can't even. I need to turn my phone off.
No, yeah, at one point I had made a whole video. I was ranting about it and I was like, you photographers that are backing this, and then I just had to turn my phone off.
I have one in my drafts right now of me saying something like that.
So that's all the questions I had. Do you want to do the
Okay,
ones
cool.
that you had and I had from our followers?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll both answer them. Do you want to go ahead and go first?
Yeah, I wrote them down on my computer. Let me see. Do you have any tips or advice for photographers just starting?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, stay. I feel like there's so many.
I know, there's like, where do we even start? I would probably say my biggest thing was like, just do as many like model calls as you can and like really try and find your editing style before you like take on too much, I feel.
That's what I was going to say too. Like shoot literally as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because the more you shoot, the more practice and portfolio you have to show off to people. When I first started, a lot of my shoots were free.
Yeah, same.
So I would suggest do literally all the shoots you can. Like, even if you're not getting paid, the practice helps.
Yeah, and do not be scared to ask people to model for you. Like, it's not as weird as it feels.
Right. People actually feel so honored when you ask them. I was so nervous at first, and people were like, oh my god, really? And I was like, you're not weirded out.
Yeah, I felt like a creep DMing people, but like,
I know.
they love it.
It's like that one movie on Netflix where he's like the photographer, but he like kills him in the end. Have you seen that?
What? No.
That's That's what I felt like. I was like, they probably think I'm like trying to meet up with them in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
What are your go-to couple prompts?
Oh, mine is probably anytime I see they're wearing cowboy boots, I always do the stand on his boots and get on your tiptoes.
That's like your signature one. I love it.
I always do that one. I love it so much. That and the kissing with your teeth. Yeah, that's mine.
Yep. Anytime I tell people that, they're like, what? I'm like, just do it. Trust me, it'll be cute. I like to do a lot of like the ones where he'll run up behind her and pick her up and spin her.
Oh, yeah.
That one's fun. I'm trying to think. Always holding hands and like doing the drunk walk.
Yeah.
Is fun. Yeah, there's so many. I don't even.
It also, I feel like, depends on the couple.
Oh, for sure.
Like throughout the shoot, you're like, oh, they are not gonna like that one.
Yeah, you can tell what couples want and what they don't want.
Yeah.
Best advice for finding your editing style when you like them all.
Oh my gosh, that was literally me.
I know, me too.
I like them all. I would say like don't be okay. Well, I would say do the model calls.
Yeah.
And try as many different ones as like you want because it's not paid. So
right.
That's what I did at least.
Yeah. And I would like, especially because I've noticed too, sometimes when you buy like a preset or like edit like someone else that you like, it looks completely different on your own photos. So I would just try like as many as you can. Because like it takes a while to figure out what you like and what you don't like on your own work.
I spent so much money on presets when I first started.
Too.
So don't feel bad if you do that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think I spent. I don't even want to know how much money I've spent. On
me
presets.
Either.
They're so expensive, but they're worth it. They're definitely like the more expensive ones. I would say like. It might be scary at first because it's like, oh my God, am I going to like them? But the more expensive ones I've noticed work really, really well. So,
yeah.
Best advice for gaining clients during slow season. I would say do a ton of styled shoots and like content days. Luckily photographers are like there for each other. So a lot of styled shoots and content days I feel like are planned during slow season to help you out. I actually just hosted my first one back in November, and it was so fun. Like you can even like host your own. I would always say too, like work on your branding and your website. Like always keep updating that stuff too. Sometimes I forget like my website needs to be updated a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, slow season's so hard.
It's awful. I hate it.
It's horrible. It makes me question everything. Okay, last one I have is, what are must-have apps for photography?
Ooh.
There's so
I would say, my favorite one that I use to post my pictures on Instagram is Scroll.
I had that written down for me to say too.
Yeah, that's my favorite app ever. I always use that for my Instagram post.
I would also say Canva. I use Canva all the time.
For everything, yep.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, Instagram stories, like, promos, whatever it is, I'm on Canva for everything. Pixie Set, I use a lot.
Pixie Set. I use that for my galleries. Oh, this is, like, a really good one. How long did it take you before you could make a stable enough income with photography?
Like a year and a half, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe a year. It's hard because it's not like completely stable through the whole year. Like you said, slow season. So it's like hard to like get yourself like, for me to go full time, it was like the scariest thing I've ever done. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But yeah, I would say like a year and a half.
Yeah, mine wasn't until like a few months ago.
Yeah.
I made like no money when I first started, like the first few months.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was like, free photo shoots for anybody.
No, literally. How do you send your photos to clients?
I use Pixie Set.
I do too. How did you get started, or like what steps for beginners to start a photography business?
I would say definitely create an Instagram and post like all your shoots.
Yep.
I'm TikTok has been a huge help
Yeah.
for me.
Same.
I would definitely say start on TikTok.
Yeah.
I was so sad that it was going to get banned. I'm like, half my clients come from TikTok.
Literally,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, a lot of my clients find me off TikTok, which is so unserious and not real, but I swear.
No, serious. And the first TikTok inquiry I got, I told my husband, he was like, wait, like TikTok? And I was like, yes, TikTok. Like, actually.
Yeah, or I'll be like at the zoo, I'm like, how'd you guys find me? And they're like, TikTok. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, definitely use every social media platform you can to post your work everywhere. And I know it's scary and embarrassing, and people will probably make fun of you, but it will be so
for sure.
It'll be so worth it.
I know I for sure probably got made fun of when I first started.
Oh yeah.
But now look,
but
you grow, so
now they want the pictures done.
Exactly. Now they want their photos done.
Yep. What online courses do you recommend taking? Do you take any?
I'm actually in one with, do you know who Dawn Photo is?
I am too.
Are you in that one?
Yes.
That's the only one I'm in right now. I don't think I would count like Cassidy's Facebook group as one, but yeah, I'm in that base camp group. I highly recommend it. It's so nice.
So much information. Like, it's insane.
Yes.
It's my favorite thing ever. I love it.
Yeah.
We already answered how did you find your editing style. We kind of already answered that. How to grow your businesses and get bookings fast. They said, especially with TikTok gone now, but TikTok's back.
But now it's back.
Yeah, now it's back.
Post consistently.
Yeah.
I would say like I notice like a growth in like my followers and like my business when I'm constantly posting. Sometimes I slack and I'm like, posting is so much work. I've looked into like hiring someone to do it for me, but it's like, they're so expensive. I was like, you know what? I'll suck it up and do it myself. But definitely post consistently. That is what really helps me the most.
People don't understand, like, with photography, like, you have so much you have to be doing all the time. Like, I'll be out with, like, my friends or my family, and I'm just sitting there thinking, did I respond to this DM? I have to post this week. Like, I have to schedule this person. Like, my brain does not ever shut off. Yeah, like, you don't have a shoot, but... Yeah, you don't have a shoot, but it's still not an off day because you have like all this other stuff you have to be doing.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll like edit for like 5 hours and then I'll go sit on the couch for an hour and I'm like, oh my god, I should be editing right now. I'm like, Kylie, give yourself a break for like an hour. You're okay.
I'm the worst about, I'll see a DM and I'll open it and read it and then I'll think of a response, but I won't respond. I'm like, okay, I'll respond later. Yep. And then I don't respond and then I stack up all these DMs I have to answer and then I just get overwhelmed. Like,
in my head, I mentally respond. So then to me, I responded, but I forgot.
They're like, oh, can you do this couple session there? And I'm like, oh yeah, I can. But I never texted them back.
I'm the same way. Bad. That's why it's so hard because I try to give myself business hours. So I'm like giving myself some time off. No, it doesn't work because if they text me at 9 p.m., I respond.
Yeah, I did that too. I was like, I'm going to set business hours so I have a work-life balance. No, I didn't stick to it at all.
I didn't either.
The way it's like become so normal too. Like, now I'm like, this is normal. Like, the way I'm thinking about all of this stuff all the time, like, that's a normal
I literally can't turn it off if I tried.
Nope. Okay, so both of the next questions are how'd you grow and how'd you grow your Instagram? They both want to start booking more.
Reels helps a lot. I notice a lot.
Any type of video. Yeah. Any type of video.
Meta glasses. I say this all the time. I just got them for my birthday and oh my god, I'm so excited. But every video I see that like blows up, it's always Meta glasses. So I feel like they're worth because you can make so many cool videos and like I feel like people are so interested on like our point of view on things on like wedding days and photo shoots and stuff. And any video, TikTok, Reels, anything.
I used to, before I found out about the meta glasses, I used to pay my friends like $20 to come to my shoots and record me for content for my pages. And then when the meta glasses, like when I found out about them and I bought them, I was like, holy crap, this is like saving me so much time, like so much money. Like they literally save your butt. Like if you're contemplating buying them, literally buy them.
Yeah. And like you don't have to think. Like I get so mad at myself sometimes at a wedding. I'm like, I got no videos, like nothing. But now I'm like, I just click a button and
you just click a button and it records all of it for you.
Yeah, I also didn't know that they played music. I had no idea.
I don't know if I always get the broken ones or what, but mine will start playing music randomly, like when I'm doing a shoot. Yes, and it's always at full volume. Like I remember one shoot, Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus would not turn off the whole entire shoot, and I was like, oh my god, like just like hitting it. Yeah.
That is so funny.
I actually had, this is my second pair because my first pair, my puppy chewed up.
Like fully chewed them up?
Yeah, fully chewed them up, so I had to buy a whole new pair, but yeah. What camera and lens do you use?
Nikon Z6 II and then a 24-70 2.8.
I use a Canon RP. It's like the cheapest mirrorless camera that Canon offers, and I use a 28-70. Yeah. I love it so much. Yep. I just got it too.
My lens never leaves my camera, ever.
Oh, yeah. Do you use different lenses for different shoots? If so, what are the differences between them?
I have different lenses. I feel like ever since I got my 24-70, it literally has not left my camera. Just because it does literally everything that my other lenses do. I have a 35, which is really nice for like portraits and stuff, but I also feel like my 24-70 does the same thing, so.
Yeah, that's how I am. I'm always scared to try and use a different one because I'm like, what if I like start using it and then I wish I would have had my other lens on here.
Right.
So I don't ever take mine off either. Any tips on getting into weddings?
A lot of styled shoots. I would do like a ton of styled shoots that like specialize in bridals and like staged weddings just so you can like have something to show off. And like when I first got into weddings, I was doing free model calls. Literally, I was like, free bridals, whoever wants them, like, come get them. And
come get them.
Yeah, come get them. And then after I started posting those is when I started to get wedding inquiries. So I would like just put together little styled shoots of people in their bridal outfits and they'll start coming.
Mine was definitely second shooting. I feel like saved me. I second shot like all summer, last summer, and it made me feel so much better about being prepared to get into weddings. And it also gave me pictures to use for my page. How to grow your clientele and reach the right audience?
I would say what you post on your social media is what you're going to attract. Like when I first started, I was posting a lot of families, so I got a lot of families. But now that it's a lot of weddings and like engagements and stuff, that's the majority of what my clients are. Yeah, I feel like it's like whatever you post is what you're going to get because that's what people are seeing.
Yeah, I feel like definitely you have to like be very intentional with what you post.
Oh, for sure.
And also, I feel like showing yourself, even though it's the worst thing in the world to do, showing yourself on your page, that's also going to attract like the right people, I feel like. Some of these aren't questions. How do you get started on making a website? How'd you make yours? Or what do you use for yours?
When I first started, I used Pixie Set, and then
Same.
I was like, okay, this isn't as like customizable as I want it to be. So I bought a template off of Show It, and I like built it myself from there. The templates, I was in shock at first at how expensive they were, but they're so worth it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I use Show It too, and mine's also a Show It template.
I love it so much. They have so many.
Yeah, I know. When did you start charging?
When I felt confident that like what I was photographing and what I was going to deliver was like, I was proud of it. Like if I was still doing free shoots, and I was like, okay, I'm not where I want to be. I wasn't going to charge anybody for that. But when I started to feel confident in my work and like myself is when I started to charge people.
Same. And I remember my first prices were like $40 for 30 minutes and like $75 for an hour. And I was like, I'm making bank out here.
I was like, come bring me my money. I'm rich.
How old were you when you started your business? I'm 14 and don't know when it's realistic to try.
I was a freshman in college, so I was 18. But I would say it's never too early to start. The earlier you start, the more time you have to build your business at such a young age. So
yeah, I started when I was 18 too, and I see a lot of younger like teenagers that have successful photography businesses, and I'm like, dude, when they get to my age, they're gonna be booming.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, definitely you're never too young to start. Somebody said Rachel and Coop ? From my stranger shoot.
I've been keeping up with that.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I love it. It's literally my entertainment. Like, for slow season, funny. This has been my entertainment. What camera should a beginner photographer get? I want to hear what yours would be.
I would say don't start mirrorless, because mirrorless is like, when I first got my first mirrorless camera, I was like, okay, this is like crazy game changer. But I would start with like a DSLR. I started on a, what was it? Nikon D3200, I think. And it was great for like to learn everything. And like, I would say learn manual, like when you first start, but, and then I would work your way up to like a mirrorless camera. I feel like if I was handed a mirrorless camera at the beginning, I would have been like, okay, I give up. Like, I'm done.
I started with a mirrorless. It was a Canon R100, and it was like a super simple, like basic function camera. And it's like, now I would never do a photo shoot with it because it's like the quality's so bad. But yeah, that's what I started with. I feel like, honestly, just whatever you can afford, whatever's in your budget, like go on Facebook Marketplace, like any type of camera, honestly. I've always been one to say, like, it does not matter, like, what, okay, it does matter, but like, you can make really good art with like anything. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, even iPhone sometimes, like, you really could.
Oh, I know.
I think that was all the questions I got. That was so fun.
That was so fun.
That was like so interesting to hear like your input on everything.
Yeah, that was so fun. I love hearing other photographers like sides of things, because there's so many of us, but like I feel like everyone has a different experience. Yeah,
and like when I'm like talking to normal people about it, they just like don't know what I'm talking about at all.
They like check out. They're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like what's a shutter speed? Like, what are you talking about?
What are you?
No, but I'm so glad you get like the whole, like, your brain does not shut off ever. Like, you're literally
I seriously felt like I was so alone in that. So
yeah. That's crazy.
I try so hard to turn it off, but it doesn't work. Because in my head, I'm like, if I don't respond right now, I'm going to forget, and then I don't respond. So
yeah, that was all the questions that I had for Kylee and that y'all gave us. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Of course.